Hi guys, good evening. Today we are dealing with 19th and 20th August 2018 current affairs prepared by Neo IAS. And our topics are NAG Helena, Kaziranga National Park, All India Rural Financial Inclusion Survey, Caspian Sea Agreement, and Fall of Rupee or Rupee Falls, Oxytocin, and on map aided program we have Belize Reef and PQRS, that is Previous Question Revision Series. Our first topic is NAG Helena. The NAG missile is a third generation fire and forget anti-tank guided missile. It is equipped with highly advanced imaging infrared radar, that is IRR. And the NAG missile is mainly designed to destroy modern tanks and also other heavy armored targets. It can be launched from both land as well as air-based platforms. So, we were discussing about NAG and Helena. Helena is helicopter launched version of NAG missile, which is called helicopter launched NAG, that is Helena. Helicopter launched NAG, short as Helena. And NAG missile is one of the 5 missile systems developed by DRDO under the Integrated Guided Missile Development Program, IGMDP, Integrated Guided Missile Development Program. The 4 other missiles developed under this program are Agni, Akash, Trishul and Prithvi. So, why NAG or Helena is in news? Because the Helena, that is helicopter launched NAG, recently successfully flight tested in the Pokhran Desert of Rajasthan. And our next news is about Kaziranga National Park. Assam's Environment and Forest Department decided to split Kaziranga National Park into 2 divisions. Eastern Assam is the first division and Bishwanath division is the second division. This dividing is done in order to make intensive wildlife management. And also the river Brahmaputra separates these 2 divisions naturally. And we need to know about Kaziranga National Park. The main attraction of Kaziranga National Park is it hosts 2/3 of world's one-horned rhinoceros. So, one-horned rhinoceros is a specialty of Kaziranga National Park. It houses the 2/3, entire world's 2/3 number of one-horned rhinoceros. Also, the Kaziranga National Park almost have around 2,400 in clearly 2,413 one-horned rhinoceros. Also, it is accorded as a national park in 1974. And the Kaziranga National Park is also a World Heritage Site since 1985. Also, Kaziranga National Park is a tiger reserve. And other than the one-horned rhinoceros, it also houses elephants, wild water buffalo and swamp deer. And Kaziranga National Park is also an important bird area by BirdLife International. So, it's a World Heritage Site, it's a national park, it's a tiger reserve and also a bird area by BirdLife International. And the next topic is All India Rural Inclusion Survey 2016-17. This survey is conducted by the NABARD, National Bank for Agricultural and Rural Development. It covered a sample of 1.88 lakh people from around 40,000 rural households. From the survey, it is estimated that the total number of rural households in India is about 21.17 crore and among which only 48% are agricultural households. So, what is an agricultural household? Agricultural household is one in which at least one member is self-employed in the agricultural sector. And when we are studying detailed about the agricultural households had a higher debt liability compared to non-agricultural ones. And mainly the southern states like Telangana, Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka showed the highest level of indebtedness among agricultural households. So, in the states of Andhra, Karnataka and Telangana, most of the agricultural households are more debted. The average annual income of an agricultural household is 1.07 lakh. Average annual income is 1.07 lakh. And the survey found that only 10.5% of agricultural households have a valid Kisan card or Kisan credit card. And the survey found that only 10.5% of the agricultural households have a valid Kisan credit card. Also, the average monthly income of an Indian rural household is 8059. From this chart, we can find it that in the case of agricultural household, the average monthly income is 8931, and non-agricultural household it is 7269, and on an average for all the households or for all the rural households, the average income is 8059. And in the case of agricultural household, the share of average income from cultivation and animal rearing or livestock rearing was just over 43%. The balance 57% income was from non-agricultural sources. From this chart, you can identify that. Just look on the agricultural household part. Cultivation 3,140, livestock rearing 711, and most of the money or 57% of the income comes from the non-agricultural sector and mainly wage labor. So, in the case of agricultural household, only 43% of the income is contributed from the agricultural sector, and the 57% income is contributed from non-agricultural sectors, mainly wage labor. And our next topic is Caspian Sea Agreement. The presidents of Azerbaijan, Iran, Kazakhstan, Russia and Turkmenistan recently agreed or decided to give legal status to the Caspian Sea. There has been a dispute in the case of Caspian Sea whether it's a lake or a sea. So, these heads of these states decided to give a legal status of sea to the Caspian Sea. Until 1991, the Caspian Sea only had two littoral states, that is the undivided Soviet Union and Iran. This is Caspian Sea. You can see it here. Kazakhstan, Russia, Azerbaijan, Iran and Turkmenistan are bordering to Caspian Sea. Before 1991, when Soviet Union existed, it had only two bordering states. One is the Soviet Union and other is Iran, which is in the bottom. But when Soviet Union disintegrated, now 5 nations are part of the borders in the Caspian Sea. So, before 1991, the Soviet Union and Iran treated Caspian Sea as a border lake with their 1921 Treaty of Friendship. The treaty signed between Soviet Union and Iran, it is called the Treaty of Friendship of 1921. They have decided to make Caspian Sea as simply a border lake. But after the disintegration of Soviet Union, there has been a dispute whether Caspian Sea is a lake or sea. Finally, these heads of state decided to consider Caspian Sea as a sea. And each country can, after the agreement, each country can control 15 nautical miles of water for mineral exploration from their seashore, and also 25 nautical miles of water from their seashore for fishing activities. And all other parts of the sea other than this specified area is considered as the neutral waters for common use. And the agreement prohibited the presence of military vessels that are non-littoral states in the sea. India cannot introduce a military vessel into the Caspian Sea because India is not sharing boundary with Caspian Sea. Even US cannot introduce a military vessel in the Caspian Sea because US is not sharing any boundary with Caspian Sea. So, the agreement also prohibited the presence of military vessels from non-littoral states of the sea. And our next news is Rupee Falls. When the price of rupee or the value of rupee depreciates or the rupee falls, countries' imports become more expensive and exports become cheaper. For example, if the remote is imported from US and the price of this remote is $1. Earlier we need to give only 65 rupees, but the value of money or the value of rupee depreciated. So, we need to give at least 70 rupees to get this remote. So, import become expensive and the exports become cheaper. We can use the same example of this remote. This remote cost 70 rupees or which is approximately equal to $1, and when we export this remote to another country, earlier they need to give only $1 for this remote, but when the value of money is depreciated or when the value of rupee is depreciated, they will get this remote less than $1. Fine. And what are the implications of fall of rupee? It increases the inflation. especially in India where input products constitute a large part of our imports. We import petroleum in order to make petrol or diesel. We import gold from various countries in order to make ornaments. So, imports are main part of the inputs of finished products in India. Thus, it increases the inflation. If the petroleum is cost higher than the normal, then the finished product petrol will be expensive, which raises the inflation. Or if the gold is imported, I already told you that as import becomes expensive, the gold ornaments will also be expensive, which raises the inflation. And on the other hand, costlier inputs and subsequent increase in the price of finished goods may have a positive impact on GDP. But the decrease in demand due to higher prices nullify this. If input price is increased, the finished products will be expensive. That will make a positive impact on the GDP. But as price increases, the aggregate demand decreases. So, this will affect GDP. So, both will neutralize the impact on the GDP. So neither GDP grows nor decrease. And the next news is oxytocin. Oxytocin is a female hormone made in the brain, mainly in the hypothalamus. Even if it is made in the hypothalamus, it is transported to the pituitary and also secreted by the pituitary. The release of oxytocin is very important for females because it helps in two female reproductive functions. One is childbirth and the other is breastfeeding. So, oxytocin helps in childbirth and breastfeeding. So, some persons find that this oxytocin can be misused in order to increase the milk production from cattle. So, the continuous and indiscriminate use of oxytocin in cattle increased the milk production, but it harmfully affected the cattle, or the lifespan of cattle have decreased. So, thus, in order to avoid this, from September 1, the Union Health Ministry decided to impose a ban on the retail sale and private manufacture of oxytocin. This is all about oxytocin. And in MAP aided program we have Bellis Reef. This is Bellis Reef, and Bellis Reef is the largest barrier reef in the northern hemisphere, and it is near to the Honduras. This is Honduras and also Belize. Honduras, Belize. It's near to Honduras and Belize in the Caribbean Sea, and it is chosen as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1996. So, this is the location. In yellow you can see Belize, and in red you can see Honduras. It is near to both Belize and Honduras. Bellis Reef is near to Belize and Honduras. It's part of the Caribbean Sea, and this is the Bellis Reef. And our final session, which is Prelims Question Revision Series. We have a question from 2016 Prelims. With reference to the cultural history of medieval India, consider the following statements. 1. Siddhas or Siddhars of Tamil region were monotheistic and condemned idolatry. Second, Lingayats of Kannada region questioned the theory of rebirth and rejected the caste hierarchy. Which of the following statements given above are correct? A. 1 only, B. 2 only, C. both 1 and 2, D. neither 1 nor 2. Okay, just look at the question and try to find out the answer. When coming to the statement 1, Siddhas believe in the oneness of God as well as charity towards men. So, their attitude also was against the idol worship. Thus, statement 1 is right. Siddhas of Tamil region were monotheistic and condemned idolatry. And when comes to the statement 2, the Basavanna, who is the founder of Lingayatism, rebelled against the caste system prevalent in the Orthodox Hindu society, and Lingayat also believed that there is no rebirth. So, when coming to the statement 2, Lingayats of Kannada region questioned the theory of rebirth and rejected the caste hierarchy. So, both 1 and 2 are correct, and the option answer is C, both 1 and 2. So, thank you so much for watching. For more news and explanation, you can refer the daily current affairs material prepared by NonAg, which is provided in the description section. Thank you so much.